Every scary decision I made in 2025 turned out to be the right one. And I don't mean scary like jumping out of a plane. I mean the quiet type of scary. The decisions that keep you up at night. The ones where you fear you will tank everything that you've built. But this year taught me something I want to share with you, especially if you're building on LinkedIn in 2026. Your fear isn't a warning sign, it's a compass. And it's pointing exactly where you need to go. Let me show you what I mean. So here are the 3 things that I was super scared of doing in 2025. Number 1, requiring credit cards for our free trial. I was pretty convinced this would kill the sign-up numbers. Every metric I care about would tank, and I put this off for months, years actually, if I'm honest. Number 2, starting these YouTube videos. To be honest, I never was keen of putting my face in front of content in, but I realized that to be authentic and to practice what I preach, I have to put my face in front of things. So about half a year ago, with 0 subscribers, 0 proof, I hit record for the first time, and it was just me talking to the camera and hoping I wasn't wasting my time. Number 3, betting everything on boring consistency instead of chasing viral content. Beginning of the year, mind you, every LinkedIn guru was still telling us, me, to hack the algorithm, find that viral format and game the system. And I did that, and what worked 2024 completely tanked in 2025. So instead of trying to adjust the strategy for going viral, I embraced the new reality and I kept showing up with the same boring discipline and principles week after week, trusting that it would compound over time with this new algorithm that we are in. And here's what's wild. Every single one of these decisions, they worked, not despite the fear, I think because of it. Let me walk you through the first one because it changed how I think about everything. All right, so in mid-2025, like May, June, July, our SEO work finally started to kick in. You can see this here in the top chart. Right about May, June, we start to get good growth. And I thought, hey, signups, activation, new subscriptions should inevitably follow. But they didn't. Like, people signed up more, but people didn't activate and people didn't subscribe. And, you know, as a founder, you're in constant doubt if your product is actually any good. And I was honestly thinking that with one marketing channel finally starting to work, the numbers would inevitably follow and rise, but they did not. They didn't seem to be correlated at all, to be honest, which caused a bunch of sleepless nights. And then it finally made me do a decision I've been putting off for months. And that is to ask for a credit card when you sign up for a trial. It's still a free trial, but you have to put your credit card in. Now, what this does, like magic, it raised the activation and it yielded out tire kickers who actually never intended to subscribe in the first place. You know, they were just poking around. Look at the MRR graph. Guess what? This is late July, early August, when we started to ask for credit card. And you can see that what was a downtrend before turned into an immediate growth trend. Fucking finally. What happened is that just doing this one thing, asking for a credit card, put the whole trajectory of the product in an upward spiral. I got better activation, better feedback from the right people, and we're able to improve the product based on that. And we're still in this loop. And I see this, you know, trending and continuing in 2026. Now, the point with this is that I knew I should do this for a long time. Every expert, every coach, every consultant, every book I read kind of like talks about this, especially for bootstrapped software products. But I just kept thinking, nobody's going to sign up anymore. I'll lose 70, maybe 80% of my signups overnight. And you know what? I lost the signups, but I gained the subscribers. We weren't losing users, we were finally filtering for the right ones. The ones that activated, the ones that posted, the one that actually had the problem that we are solving, the ones that stuck around. And this is really when it hit me, right? The real problem is not having ideas, not being able to write, spending too much time on your LinkedIn content, on LinkedIn in general. The main problem that we are solving is commitment to the cause. And yes, by making it as easy as possible to stay committed, which is our super highest goal, we deliver on that promise. But by just asking for that little bit of skin in the game on sign up, we raise the commitment and we actually get the people that are committed to the cause. So without a doubt, that door, the one I was terrified to walk through, it led exactly to where I needed to go. The YouTube thing, on the other hand, was a different kind of scary. It wasn't a single decision. It was showing up week after week, talking basically to no one, wondering if I was just wasting hours of my life, because I committed to doing one of these every week. And I think I've not missed a single one. To this day, I'm not getting huge views. I still hardly have any subscribers, and to be honest, I'm not pushing the YouTube videos as a lead marketing, as a lead generation channel at all. So this is not, I went viral and now I'm the biggest YouTuber, and I don't want to be. But what I figured out quite quickly after iterating a little bit on the way I produce the content and how I talk about these things is that these weekly videos are by far the easiest way for me to generate a ton of content. This very YouTube video is not just on YouTube. It becomes a blog post, it becomes a newsletter, it becomes a LinkedIn article. It gets cut up into shorts for YouTube and for LinkedIn. By the way, YouTube shorts, they get quite good engagement. I got like 1,500 views pretty regularly from the get-go with very, very minimal effort and, not the greatest shorts, to be honest. And then I can turn what I talk about into LinkedIn posts as well and can use the shorts for LinkedIn as well. And Continent just makes that so easy, like reusing the transcripts and creating new ideas from the LinkedIn video. So really for me, the views on a single video is almost irrelevant, but the system that I built around it, that's the asset for Continent. And I still believe that video is the most authentic way to, to talk about anything, to get your face out there, to market to your existing users, market to new users, market to people who are on the fence, and just building that base content and getting your stuff out there. And really, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want it to show my face. I didn't know how to record these. I didn't know if this would turn into a massive time sink. And in the beginning it was. It took me like 2 days to create one of these videos. Now I'm doing it in half a day because the system that I built delivers. And yeah, with time goes by, like now I don't mind talking into this camera anymore. I would love to get a teleprompter so you don't see me reading my script all the time and I can actually stay focused and look into the camera. That's a goal for 2026. And the last one is the boring content and repetition thing. In 2023, I managed to get a couple of very viral posts out there on LinkedIn, and they generated great leads. And I thought I had found a system that's repeatable, where I can go viral like once a month, fairly predictably, and get leads that way. Early in 2025, already in Q1, this didn't really work anymore, and by the time I wasn't sure why. We had a huge campaign in Q1 where we tried to launch a free LinkedIn scheduler, and we prepared a massive campaign for that. I did what worked very well in 2023. I aligned my army, as I say. I reached out to people and, lined up a ton of good and influential accounts to interact with my post to give it that extra boost. And it massively failed. I mean, there was a little blip, right? But it didn't create the leads that we were hoping for. It didn't go viral the way we were hoping for. And it really, really proved the point that something had changed. At the same time, though, I started to notice that my engagement rate went up. So obviously reach went down, but engagement went up, and I actually got better engagement on my content, like higher quality engagement. Basically, at that point, I decided that following the viral strategy is not working anymore, and I need something that compounds and builds over time based on quality. And a couple of months later, we ran this huge report. I'll link the video where I talk about this in detail below. And basically what we figured out from our user data was that consistent posters gained an average of almost 5,000 followers, while inconsistent ones only 783 within the course of 3 months or 6 months. I'm actually not sure, but you'll find out in the video below. All these people were using the same tool, Continent, with the same features, the same AI, but the only difference they had was showing up and purposefully iterating on their content. Now, maybe scared is the wrong word here, but I think as humans, we tend to go for the big, exciting stuff instead of the boring, repetitive work. But really, I think that is what's needed now with LinkedIn. It's not necessarily about finding the perfect hook anymore. We've got AI to do that. They write great hooks. It's not about trying to hack the algorithm, because I don't think there's such a thing anymore as hacking the algorithm. And it's definitely not about some burst of creative genius. You know how many posts I tried where I'm like, wow, this is a great insight. I'm actually writing this. And I was actually writing them myself because I felt inspired. All of these posts, without fault, every single one flopped. What works is the repetitive stuff that has worked before, is the stuff that works for other people that I'm repurposing with my own ideas and get them out there. And it's about doing and talking about the same stuff again and again, different ways, and just ignore the fact that it might become boring for yourself. We are not in a talent gap anymore because AI is our talented ghostwriter. We are in a consistency gap. And I think that's actually good news, because consistency is a metric that you can control. It's not sexy, it's not cool, but it's one that you have 100% agency over. And now, here's where it gets interesting, because I think I wasn't the only one making scary decisions in 2025. LinkedIn was too. Because LinkedIn did something this year that basically terrified all of us. They cut reach dramatically, on average 50% down from the 2023 peak. And obviously people panicked. The algorithm is broken. LinkedIn is dead. LinkedIn favors bros over women. Time to move to X or, ditch the LinkedIn ecosystem altogether. But here's what I think what actually happened. LinkedIn made the same kind of trade that we made with the credit cards. Think about it. Their aim was not to punish creators. Their goal was filtering, pruning for quality, yielding out the tire kickers at the content level. The old algorithm was more like a numbers game, right? It showed your content to a ton of people. If enough of them engaged, it went viral. So volume kind of like over everything. The new algorithm, it's more like saying, prove you have something valuable to say, and we show it exactly to the right people. And here's what that means practically. Yes, your impressions are down, but the people who are seeing your content, they are more likely to actually care. The algorithm got much better at matching your content with the right audience. Less reach, better engagement, more qualified attention. Where this falls short, unfortunately, is that we don't get to see who sees your content. We're only getting hints of who likes and who comments, but we don't get any insight from LinkedIn on the lurkers, unfortunately. Maybe the best one we have is the profile views that your posts generate. But does it sound familiar? Right? That's exactly what happens when we added credit cards. We got fewer signups, but we got better users. So in a way, LinkedIn and us, we both gave up a certain amount of volume for quality. And I think also LinkedIn was right to do that. Okay, so what does this mean for you in 2026? The fear compass isn't just do the scary thing. I think it's a bit more specific than that. The scary thing in 2026 is this. Stop optimizing for reach. If you're still doing that, just stop it and start optimizing for relevance instead. Let me break that down. Your fear is my impressions are down. Your new mindset, the right 500 views beats the wrong 5,000. Quality of attention matters more than quantity. Your old thinking, I need to go viral. Your new mindset, consistent expertise compounds faster than occasional hits. The algorithm literally rewards consistency now. Irregular posting gets penalized. Your fear, I am too niche. Your new mindset for 2026, the algorithm rewards topic authority. Suggested posts, which are growing fast, specifically match content to topic interest. Niche is an advantage now, not a limitation. Think of it this way. How many people do you need to have a successful business? If the answer is 100, 500 or something, remember that there's more than 1 billion potential leads on LinkedIn. Your job is to find those 100 or 500 right ones for you. There's no such thing as being too specific because there's enough people for your specific niche on LinkedIn. Guaranteed. The classic fear, I'm posting and nothing is happening. Your new mindset for 2026. Track your inputs, not your outputs. Posts published, streaks maintained, days you showed up. Your 30th post will outperform your first one by tenfold if you keep doing that. And also iterate and improve on what you're talking about, of course. Watch your analytics. What I'm trying to say here is that embrace the new reality and embrace the fear. Probably your fear is toward accepting smaller numbers in exchange for better quality, towards consistency over creativity, towards depth over breadth. That's the door. Walk through it. In Q4, we've already added a bunch of features that support this new reality, like the new dashboard, the streak counter, better support for commenting and comments, because the reality is that creating great content is not the end game anymore. AI has made that really, really simple. But having an integrated system that allows you to stay on top of everything, analytics, comments, your content, your leads, that helps you get this stuff out, that compounds over time, this is still very, very valuable in 2026. And we will double down on improving this more and more and more, making it easier for you to repurpose your stuff, making it easier for you to improve on what has already worked. We basically want to make it as easy for you as possible to walk through that door. And where's my fear compass pointing in 2026? I think in a way it's exactly that. Doubling down on the boring things, on the little tweaks, on the little improvements, both for content, but also for this content. It's about showing more authority. It's about embracing more opinions. It's about becoming more vulnerable and not just sharing content and updates, but actually sharing deeper insights into what's working, what's not working, where we are, and relentlessly doing the hard work. You know, the funny thing is building a new feature is actually not hard. It's fun. What's hard is taking a feature you've already built and relentlessly improving it. So it's frictionless UX, it's highest quality in output, and it's completely bug-free. That's the hard work, and it takes much more time than building the feature in the first place. And that is what we are going to double down in 2026. So, question for you. What is the thing you've been avoiding on LinkedIn? What is the vanity metric you are afraid to let go of? What is the topic you are avoiding or being ambiguous about? What would you build? What would you post if you optimized for the right 500 people instead of the wrong 5,000? That is probably your 2026 unlock. If you want content to help you walk through that door, 14-day free trial, link is down in the description. Credit card is required, obviously. I'm off to finding my next scary door. Best of luck to all of you in 2026. Let's rock this year.